This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, it's Patrick Reed from the Adamas Principle and my business partner, Adam Gazzoli, who you can see and you can't see me. So I'm really sorry. I thought I was up to date with my software and I think I pressed something wrong. So you've just got my dulcet tones, but you've got the beautiful Adam Gazzoli. Hello, mate. How are you?
Hi, Patrick. I'm not sure about the beautiful, but it's good to be here. And thanks for including me tonight. And sorry, Beat's not around.
Yes. Beats gonna be back next week, and yeah, we both apologise for that, but I'm sure he's having a nice Easter Sunday, and but we've got some good stuff to go through, and if at any point you've got any questions, leave them on my LinkedIn post or Adam's obviously, and we'll answer that. I'll be blogging all week as usual. So yeah, I'm just going to sort of funny old week in markets. And I've written some topics down. I just a couple of top line bits. I think risk pairs didn't really follow through, and this is not unusual. I think the dollar weakness didn't follow through either. So late on Friday, you had some dollar buying, and the dollar index is kind of range bound, but I'm just going to get it up. It's up there. Just going to have a look. This is kind of getting congested, and we look like we're potentially going to break 97.70. 98 is a big level as well, but the only thing I'll say, all of this is just range bound. This here, I mean, this is just nothing. This is the weekly, by the way, the weekly. So I'm going to stick it on the daily. Again, look at this. I mean, this has just been doing this for quite some time. I'm going to stick it on the yearly. So this is, a 1 year time frame, but this is on the daily. So obviously we're testing up some upper Bollinger Band, and we really did this on Friday. So there was I think it was some flows. Don't forget it's Easter, very thin. It was Good Friday, and yeah, I mean, very difficult to trade, but like with anything, I think I was long euro around here. I think it was around 65, and we got stopped out. So there was no real conviction, and this is a nothing move really. But at the end of the day, this is just going to continue until we get the next kind of inflation trade signal or a deflation trade signal or whatever it is. I think the dollar is integral, and I think the dollar is going to be doing it basically. The only thing I'll mention is the dollar. There was no follow through either way, weakness and strength. Risk, there were no follow through either way, weakness and strength. Yen pairs, it was basically within the Bollinger Bands, nothing. Even our old friend dollar yen, we're still capping 112.25. We talked about this level for a long time. I think we've got to 09s in the week. Let me just have a look. 18s, it says there. Okay, so and then we made a weekly low of around 111.80s, but really nothing. Absolute no moves, and mixed bag for real carry. I mean EM. So our old friend dollar rand. This is just really mixed signals. There was some real, this was grinding lower, which indicates some nice, carry trading going on. But then, we're just chopping and grinding up again, and now we're kind of mixed. So, and Turkish lira is the only kind of odd onto itself. Try yen grinding lower. No one really wants to be buying Turkish lira. Again, certainly, if you're wanting to be long, getting carry on, try yen, or want to be short dollar, try getting carry. Now, this is interesting. This is kind of onto itself. This is probably not a good representation of risk, i.e. carry risk in EM. We're sneaking up to the highs. Adam, you forwarded on a really interesting article on the FT, didn't you, about the reserves, and I called it from Reuters as well. I don't know if you want to have a little mention of what your thoughts on Turkish lira.
Patrick, yeah, that was an interesting article on the the level of the actual reserves there in by the central bank of Turkey, and also I believe the finance minister was in New York recently, and he was talking to investors and didn't come across too well either. So hence, we've seen that sort of move in Turkey during the week. But like you say, it is all a bit of a mixed bag. I really wouldn't really know what to do at these sort of levels. I think we've got to be wary as well. We've got some elections coming up in India too, which could add a bit of pressure to the Indian rupee. But I thought that was an interesting article on the Turkish during the week.
Yeah, I mean it is interesting. I think we're sneaking. Dollar try was sneaking up to the panic highs, which are here and here. So around this 586.37 area. Interestingly, the only thing I will say on and Beat did a really good blog post on LinkedIn. This is not for retail, okay? And central banks in emerging markets hate foreign speculators, and they are aggressive, they're quick, and they're unconventional in their actions. So putting the overnight swap rate, it was around here, to 1,400% in one night, is going to kill a lot of retail. And I think some people were paying 13 big figures overnight. So you've got to be really well funded. Or you hedge it out with some forwards or options or whatever you do, but you just got to really bear that in mind. And you've got on the other side, because you've got two sides of the equation on the massive moves like here and all the way down here. That was in one night. That was one day. That was the next day. So either way, you've got tons of people slamming it one way against the banks slamming it the other way. So bottom line, look at your risk. It's not for retail. Just be careful. I mean, that's why it's 24%. You're getting carry at 24% for a reason, so just be careful. So yeah,
I think as well there there's still issues around the recent election in Turkey too, with the government trying to turn the decision of the outcome in Istanbul. So there's just a lot of uncertainty in Turkey, and probably one to watch, but not one to dive in there too quickly. Yeah,
exactly. So I guess within the context of risk, it's Turkey's just onto itself really. So it's a mixed bag in EM, and also yen pairs as well. So that's kind of it for for the week for the roundup, and it's just very difficult to trade. I mean, I've got CAD yen here, still was very much range bound. Swiss yen I quite like to look at sometimes just for funding flows, and obviously, you know, Euro Swiss, which is, I'll just show you that. Have a look at this. So Euro Swiss has been very, very interesting. And where's dollar Swiss? I can't see it. But dollar Swiss as well has been very interesting. And this is, it's got some kind of handwriting on it. I'm not going to say anything else, but some big institution, I think it had been buying dollar Swiss and helping Euro Swiss go higher. And if you get up your dollar Swiss chart, which I don't seem to have, here we go, here's dollar Swiss. So, you know, it's cracked through some key levels there, and quite relentless. So, you know, this has just been quite relentless. You don't really want to be shorting this. If you do, just keep it tight, because this kind of thing is a flow move, really, in my eyes anyway. So no one really knows the reasons why, but there you go.
Just interesting, on Friday you've got SNB Jordan speaking.
Next week?
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. That's interesting. Let's see what they say. Let's have a look. Sorry, I'm just flitting around my screens. This is my LinkedIn. There's a nice bit of a cake for you that I posted. There you go. I'm getting into Eurodollar, which if you see this post, I'm not going to labour on too much about it, but it's probably for another post actually. But have a read of it. Let me know what your comments are. Let me just have a look. Yeah, so German Manu PMI still really ropey. I think it was just slightly, it was 44, 43, but very, very, you know, still not going anywhere. And, you know, I just think next week's, we'll see what happens, but it's just, yeah, the market has just been really super, super dull. I mean, to be honest, that's kind of it from me, mate. I don't know if you got anything, you know, you want to sort of share, Adam.
Well, just something from last week. I noticed the overall US trade deficit was smaller.
Okay.
So that was quite interesting. And as a result of the you know, the tariffs put on by the US. I'm looking at US GDP coming out next Friday. So possibly trade won't be such a drag on the GDP number next Friday.
Yeah.
US durable goods on Thursday, one to watch. We've got home sales out tomorrow in the US.
Yeah.
And we've got on Tuesday some Richmond Fed manufacturing index coming out. I know you've been looking at, you've done well out of that Aussie CAD trade, you know, within the range, buying dips in that. Anyone else who's got that on, just be wary. Bank of Canada rate decision on Wednesday.
Yeah, I've just got that up. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, Aussie CPI on Wednesday as well. So a couple of events there that could influence the Aussie CAD if anyone's got any risk in that. We were a bit long of that, but reduced or got out of most of it in the 95, 90s. Just stepping back at the moment and reassessing.
That 95.25 is a lovely level. You have a look. just here, just there, 95.25. It's the mid-Bollinger Band, and it's been respected 3 days here. It's also a nice little trend line coming up. Right, put this up. See that trend line coming down.
That is a nice level.
It's a very nice level to be buying. I mean, I did fancy 50s around there, but things have moved on now, and I'd still start to probably buy into 50s, but that's, you know, that's your level 25s, I think. This is what Beat very kindly said to me was an RV trade. I didn't really know much about RV trades, but relative value. So a lot of asset managers do these kind of things. So it takes out risks like the dollar risk or oil risk, or, you know, not in the CADs, not Aussie CAD in this case in oil, but it can take out some of that risk. And this is probably a long-term one, even though, you know, we've both done well on this. But yeah, I mean, as you work, you know, I do see upside in Aussie. If we put Aussie dollar, we haven't really managed to break 72, which is a bit of a problem for my long position in Aussie. But the key level here is 25s. I mean, 71.50 is a good level, and it hasn't really closed below here on the daily. Got to 40s, 36s. But we're chopping around here. But the big, I see this testing, which is 26, which is the mid-Bollinger Band. But I
Support,
just, yeah. I mean, I think what I tend to look for is, you know, we're ranging, the Bollinger Bands get tight, the vol's decreasing, we're going in. We're going right through the mid bands, right? Then we're finding support here, then bang on here and here. Not quite there. That's significant to me. So I feel this is going to test again, and I'll be buying 25s. That's just how I would play that, even though I'm still long around 50. So I just feel with Aussie CAD, I just feel the negatives on the CAD, and Beat really highlighted a lot more stuff, which was very kind of him. But you know, the important thing is the BOC hasn't properly blinked yet. Everyone else has blinked, so that's the final blink. And if they don't, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb because everyone else has done it. The RBA, you know, the FOMC, the ECB, BOJ doesn't have to blink because they're the big blinkers anyway. So I just feel if they don't blink, it will be very strange. And obviously we had decent CPI in the bank in Canada recently, but that's not enough, I don't think. So Aussie CAD trades, I'm still going to try and get long somewhere. That's my view on that. Anything else rocking your boat, Adam?
No, that's really it. I saw the China GDP was out during the week.
Yeah.
It came in lower, but better than expectations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, just looking towards, you know, a relatively quiet week ahead, a short week. You know, a lot of Europe's out tomorrow, on Monday, and but a few events in the pipeline. So just keep an eye on those and take it from there, really.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'm just putting up the Dow and S&P. We want to talk about risk. There's no stopping the Dow at the moment. You know, it's just broken through 26, 27.8. S&P is not as bullish, but still holding above, that 29, the figure. All helping risk, of course. This is quite interesting. But in relative to the correlation with FX risk pairs in FX, not sure. Like I said, yen cross has got very little follow through. EM's a mixed bag. Turkish lira is onto itself it's got its own problems, but the price is not really factored in to. There's a lot more danger out there in Turkey, but South Africa, dollar rounds bounced a tiny bit, but still nothing in it really. After all of this grinding lower, steady lower, all of these carry traders buying up some nice carry, things around 7-8%. But then, just we've bottomed out on dollar rand. Possibly we stay above 14. We could have a go up here at 14,200. Anyway, but it's all, sometimes when we're trading, I try and look too hard into something and there's nothing that's glaring. There's no big story out there at the moment. The only thing I will say to sort of cap, and it'll be the final thing for me, is I'm looking into money markets, and in particular euro dollars, offshore dollar, and we're probably going to do a separate webinar on that because it's really important. I'm a big fan of Macro Voices podcast, and those guys have really did a great show last week. So I really encourage any of our viewers to watch it. It really goes into a lot of how this deposit liabilities offshore outside the US, how it works, because it's all shadow banking, and there are some parallels to dollar index strength, and that's what it's a continuous investigation I'm doing, just in my own sort of private time. But I have drawn some conclusions, and it's fascinating because federal banks don't fully understand it. And there's a great economist called Milton Friedman. He wrote some really important essays in 1971. Anyway, it's for another webinar, but it's something on my radar, and I'm quite interested in the whole suspect and the whole shadow banking. So apart from that, I'm done, mate. So thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Pleasure. Good to be here.
That's brilliant.
And markets are going to go where they're going to go.
I know. That's it. And no matter how hard we try, we can't force them.
No, but I think you've given some good insights there, Patrick, on things like Aussie CAD and a little bit of event risk this week there. So you might see a bit of a move, hopefully.
That's great. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Adam. I appreciate it. Yeah. And we'll chat in the week. Just shout if you you need anything, or and anyone watching, just ping me. We're always here to help. Be a damage principal. Welcome back, Beat, next week. I just sort of wrap. Just a tiny plug for Beat's commentary. It is amazing. Ping me if you want to know more, and I'll Beat's not here to sort of tell you all about it, but he does amazing stuff, and I'm very lucky to get that. And but apart from that, just watch that risk. Durable goose. I'll be looking at the core, but could move it quite some. Could move the dollar a little bit, and just have a good trading week.
Excellent.
Thanks very much, Adam.
Thanks, Patrick.
Cheers. See you. Bye.
Bye.